In the blue corner, by way of the land of 1,000 islands and the mile-high city, standing at the same height since 13 years old, he is the man without a plan, the epitome of paralysis by analysis, with a record of 0 wins and 28 losses. It's The Gist with Jared. Let's go, baby. Hey, yo, what's good? Welcome to The Gist with me, Jared. It's time to talk Creed III. Michael B. Jordan's directorial debut follows Adonis Creed in a new phase of his life. He has transitioned out of the ring and into the more promotional and entrepreneurial side of things, kind of like we see many predominant athletes do nowadays. But trouble arises when skeletons come out of the closet, and that being Jonathan Majors, an old best friend, fresh out of prison, looking to claim the life that he believes he deserves.
You think you mad? Try spending half your life in a cell. Watching somebody else live your life.
Now, there are some biases that I'll acknowledge I had coming into this film. I'm a fan of Michael B. Jordan and Jonathan Majors' work, so having them both in the film had me really excited. Also, I'm a sports fan, and growing up, I was a kid with some major hoop dreams. So movies that explore the drama, the intrigue, and the magnitude of sports speaks to the aspirations of my youth. Needless to say, I was really excited for Creed III. So, without further ado, let's get into my non-spoiler review. Overall, Creed III is a solid and entertaining time at the movies. It effectively builds upon the foundation of the previous two films. I do believe that this movie can stand alone, but you'll miss and won't fully appreciate the nods given to the previous films if this is your first time with the Creed franchise. There were a lot of things I enjoyed about the movie. The action, the story, the underlying themes, the cinematography, the costume and wardrobe, the performances, the music. I had a really nice time. To focus on a few, let's talk about the story. I enjoyed seeing this side of Adonis Creed and how the plot displayed his success post his athletic career. I quite liked how the family side was also further developed and showcased, especially with how they handled having a deaf child. The meat of the story is the history between Jonathan Majors' character and Michael B. Jordan's character. They grew up together, and then a significant event forces them apart. One is able to attain their dreams, while the other watches from a cell. In terms of how Michael B. Jordan directed, he did an awesome job. I loved the interweaving of events in the past, accompanied by the things that our characters were facing in the present. The flashbacks were placed very effectively, in my opinion. The plot not only showcases the physical confrontation between friends turned foes, but also displays the challenges people have with their past and their attitudes towards it. And in the case of our title characters, how men in particular deal with these challenges. They did touch on it with Tessa Thompson's character too, which was really great. She has a lot of awesome, wholesome, and moving moments in Creed III. Now we see in Adonis and Damien the flaws and attitudes and mistakes men make towards their past traumas. In Michael B. Jordan's performance, he does an exceptional job at displaying the full gamut of emotion that his character goes through. And right there with him is Jonathan Majors. He was so good at conveying the moments of sincerity, joy, and heart, whilst also giving off the vibes that he's withholding something. He's conniving and conspiring. He's a character to be suspicious about.
Thank you.
And both of these performances combined make for a really great payoff in the third act of the film. As somebody who can tend to be a bit pessimistic and cynical, I really loved the direction and the path these characters went on. All around, really great job by the actors and actresses in Creed III. Even though so much of this film worked for me, I will admit that there's going to be a few things that probably won't work for a lot of other people. The cinematography and shot selection I really liked. The close-ups to the characters, the action shots, the anime stylized influences, all of it worked for me, but it may not work for someone else. There is a fight scene in particular that leans heavily into the creative side and is less grounded. I interpreted it as being in the zone, how athletes channel a heightened level of focus in order to perform beyond their previous limitations. I liked it, but again, this may not work for everyone as it is very different than what we were accustomed to seeing within the film and the Creed franchise collectively. Another nitpicky knockdown that some may find in the film is in regards to the scenes spoken in sign language. There are a few scenes where characters are conversing as Adonis and Bianca's daughter is deaf. I'm somebody who watches and honestly prefers everything with subtitles anyway, so I actually liked the positioning and styling of the subtitles. But if you're not used to it, the amount of scenes subtitling for sign language is something that you should be prepared for if you're going to watch Creed III, as there are a fair amount of scenes without any audible dialogue. A final nitpick I'll bring up is about pacing. The second act, that middle chunk of the film, does take a bit to get through. There's a lot of character development and narrative beats to go through, with hardly any action. I was really invested in the movie, so the absence of face pummeling, it was fine for me. And to that point of pacing, I did find the ending dragged and probably could have been trimmed down a bit. Again, very nitpicky things to a wonderful movie. And that's the gist of my non-spoiler review for Creed III. Y'all, I really enjoyed this movie and I'm probably gonna see it again. But let me know what you think. Are you into the Creed franchise? Were you as excited about it as I was? How do you think Michael B. Jordan did in his directorial debut? Hit me up, let me know in the comments down below, and I'll catch you next time on The Gist.